Welcome back to the DNA Pest Control Podcast. Sitting with me here is Aaron.
And to my right, your left is Daniel.
There you go. Yeah. I don't even know how it looks on their side.
I hope it looks as good as what we're looking at here.
I do too.
Yeah.
And actually, speaking of great looks, we have someone on today.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Very, very great look. I wish he had a camera.
Yeah.
Because you would be able to see what we see.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, you do not. He does not. So
that's okay. We can bring him back for part 2 once we get the camera set up. But continuation of National Pest Management Month. We have a pest guest, Bailey Bagwill. He is relatively new in the industry, has a little under 6 months. He's a route technician doing some residential, some commercial stuff. Bailey, can you hear us?
Yes, sir, I can. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Saturday to come on the show. We appreciate that.
No, thank you guys for having me.
Definitely. So right off the bat, something we ask all of our pest guests, because it's crazy, every platform, is how did you even get in the industry? Because you're relatively new. You're about 5-6 months in. So what did that look like, you getting into it?
Honestly, I just was scrolling through some job application websites and found some pest companies that were hiring or looking for employees and whatnot, and figured I'd give it a shot. Sounded interesting. I've never done it. I've never dealt with pests or anything aside from the Home Depot starter package you can get from them.
Yeah, for sure. That's a lot of people get it. Yeah.
And so
I just figured it would be go ahead.
Oh no. So because I don't even know how you ended up getting in, really. So you just went on Indeed. Did you go and actually apply at other places and have interviews, or?
Yeah, I applied at 1 or 2 other places. There was another company who was somewhat interested, but they didn't sound as promising or as good as the choice I've made.
Oh, good. Well, we'll break the news now. One is, before we move forward, thank you for saying that. But the first things first, if there is any child in the background, it's okay. It's Bailey's. But this is real life.
Sorry.
No, no apologies needed. Everyone in the industry who has kids will definitely understand. But also, Bailey, this is going to be a unique experience because Bailey actually is one of our technicians.
We broke it.
I had to because I'm going to ask the questions and I want to know, because I don't ask these questions. I didn't know that you interviewed with other people or anything like that. It's nothing that comes up. So, off the clock, out of the office, this is time I got free reign. I get to ask. So, no, Bailey is part of our team. He is here, but we wanted to bring a different perspective, to National Pest Management Month and technicians just all around. And Bailey, you're so fresh to it. 5 months in, we typically get people that are 3 years, 5 years, a year. It's never super, super fresh. So this is a good opportunity for anyone who is jumping in and scared to even, come on as a pest guest. They're going to hear your perspective of it and really kind of what went on in your story. But we talked a little bit about it yesterday because we were riding together, which was nice. And yes, I was out in the field with these guys. So yeah, me and Bailey got to work out there. But you were kind of mentioning, some of the past jobs that you did and then what you're doing, kind of coming into here. And I even asked you, what do you like about it? And I want to ask that again. I want the people to hear, what do you like about the industry so far?
I like every day is, you could say every month is the same route, because you build your routes and it's the same customers and whatnot, but every day is different. You get different customers, different sceneries, different experiences. The customer you had last month may have different issues this month, or different challenge for their pests, their rodents, their issues.
Yeah. No, honestly, that is, I mean, that's a huge reason why a lot of people, I think, stay in it, is because it is so different. It can be the same, but also so different at the same time, right? Mm-hmm. You know, you're dealing with the same house, but it's a whole different problem. And so you're going to have to, you know, figure out the solution to each of those problems along the way. What would you say is the biggest difference between some of the past jobs that you've had and pest control?
This job is more of, it's more interesting to me because with my other jobs, customers have been more instant results and they want it now. And in pest control, you can spray and treat a house now, but you may not see the results you're looking for several days. And then continuing to spray it monthly, bi-monthly, or quarterly, according to them, could continue the results. So they're playing more of a long game.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times when you and I talk, you know, one of the things that you mentioned, which I love too, is the freedom of it, you know, because you literally are on your own. I mean, like before I started working in pest control, it's like, I didn't realize that being a pest control technician, it's like 95% of your day-to-day is on your own. Like, yes, you have to interact with customers, but you're not like in a brick and mortar setting where you have a floor supervisor and then the manager in the office who's, you know, always kind of lingering. It's like you're on your own out there, which to some people it's kind of intimidating, but I think it's kind of fun too, you know? And I'm really like, I'm with you on the differences. He's like, you have no idea what you're going to get into. And I mean, even me coming up on 2 years, I mean, you see it when we're out in the field trading. It's like there's stuff where customers ask me, I'm like, I have no idea. I've never seen that before, and that part of it's fun to me, you know?
Yeah. And Bailey, how's the learning curve been for you so far jumping into the industry?
It's been a little challenging at first.
Okay.
Just because of all the chemicals and the different insects. Mm-hmm. It's not just as a common person, I would say it's not just an ant. It's what kind of ant. Mm-hmm. It's not what bee, it's what kind of bees or what kind of rodents. It's being a lot more specific with what chemicals you're using or what exact situation it is, instead of just going to the Home Depot or Walmart to get the Raid or whatever traps you need for it. Mm-hmm. But it's been good. You guys obviously have been, and the whole crew been very thorough at training and explaining everything to me.
Space. It's okay. I'm messing with you. Appreciate that.
But no, you guys have just been like good at explaining things and taking the time to show things as well, instead of just going, here's the book or here's the label, figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for someone who is new, so if you and when we bring on someone new, what would you tell them? What would be some of your advice to get them, you know, ahead of that curve?
Don't be afraid to ask. You can always read up on things, listen to like audiobooks on like termite terry stuff. That's some things that I did as well to boost my knowledge while I was working. I just kind of put on a podcast or a audiobook and listen to it in the background while spraying or taking care of someone's house.
Yeah. No, that is good. I mean, it is, you know, soak up as much information as you can, because there is so much to learn and there's, you know, so many things. But I think a big misconception with a lot of technicians is, you know, that guy's been doing it for 20 years, so he knows everything. And it's not the case. You know, you can come in and you have 2 years in the industry and know probably more than some guys that I've known for 15 years in the industry, you know, and we're on a whole nother level in destroying them on that side, because where they stopped is when they became the route technician and they were alone, right? They learned up to that point, and then from there they didn't really much, you know, there was no learning past that. There was no continuous education other than what they had to do, but they didn't have to figure out different insects, different behaviors, even the classes that happen. They don't care. They didn't care. They kind of just stopped there. So yeah, it is good advice to keep on pushing, keep on learning, because there's so much there is to learn and to know. Which actually, Bailey, there's a great episode that will be coming out. By the time this one comes out, it'll already be out, but with Sylvia. And so go and listen to that one. She's awesome, and she knows a ton of stuff about ants and treatments and chemicals. So those are some good stuff to, you know, always keep in your back pocket.
Heck yeah.
So far, in the industry, 5 months, 6 months, Mr. Branch 2 licensed officially.
Yeah.
As of today, actually.
Oh, heck yeah. Came in?
Yeah, I did.
It's sitting in the office right here. Yes, sir.
I'm glad I could announce that on the podcast. I think people are going to love that. Cool. So it is here. It is in. So good job and congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think other states understand. I don't even think they have to do what we have to do. It's kind of interesting as we talk to other pest guests and them coming in and they're from other states. It's like, oh yeah, I went down to the county and they handed me my termite license. I'm like, oh, it was that easy, huh? You just like,
they're like, yeah, it's that easy.
Yeah. They're like, well, I guess you drove here, so you must be able to do it, right? Here you go.
Paid $45 or whatever the fee is.
So, you know, here it's a little bit different for everyone listening. The licensing and everything you do have to take a 150 question test. So there's a lot more to it than just here it is and good luck. You have to have hours and signed off on hours and things like that. But so good job on that, Bailey.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's get to the good stuff. We don't want to take up a ton of your time, so we'll kind of try to keep it around about 20 minutes or so. But what is a crazy story that you've had so far?
Pest related or with the customer related?
Either one.
Oh gosh,
this is for the industry.
Yeah, let's. How clean do we want to keep this?
Everything is HR appropriate.
Yeah,
perfect. It's good for the workspace. No, let's hear it. I mean, I don't mind a customer experience and a pest experience. I think both would be great.
Yeah. Preference on which one first?
Customer.
So a crazy one for a customer is you guys are probably aware of her, but she is on my route. She's older, doesn't have the greatest of memory.
Okay.
She's got a small 2-story little house that we do just a general spray on.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I go there, she tells me she has this issue with eggs in her cabinets and like the drawers and everything. And every time I go look, it's mouse droppings. Oh. And I have to keep telling her it's mouse droppings, and she won't do anything about it.
She's like, look at these eggs. Look at all these eggs.
It just blows my mind. I don't understand it.
Oh, have you ever tried to be like, those are Tic Tacs? Where's the? I think Tic Tacs fell out on the floor. Like, what's going on here?
I've tried telling her, like, you got to just sweep them away, disinfect them and clean them and get rid of them. She goes, no, it's okay. They're eggs, and my dog takes care of them.
Oh gosh, the dog's eating the mouse droppings.
Okay, I'll have a good day.
Oh man, okay, that's a good one. Let's hear the pest.
The pest one was the one of the gnarliest ones I've seen so far. It was a rodent return we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Second rodent return, and I read the notes prior coming to it. Previous technician removed a few rodents in the cellar below the home.
Okay.
And when I came back to check them this time, there was one of them caught in a snap trap on the ground, halfway eaten from the backside.
Ass first.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was just I was not expecting that sight. Just
No.
Mm-hmm.
No, you know what? I'm glad you saw it. I've seen that one time. I've seen it where it was like the head was caught on the trap, and it was almost if something just like ate it and just like cleaned it, and it was just like spine.
Like how you see like a cartoon fish when the fish eats it,
Yeah.
or the cat eats it. Like
Yeah.
just the spine.
Yeah, literally. I don't know what that is. I don't know if the other rats are eating it.
It's probably the other rats.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, but they leave the head.
Hmm.
They leave the head. They take everything out as everything else was gone, right?
almost. I may have interrupted them.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it was nice and fresh.
Oh yeah, it looked like I pissed them off and disturbed their meal.
Oh, it was still
Oh.
steaming. It was warm.
Oh, yeah.
It was gruesome. I didn't reuse that trap.
That's okay.
No, some of those you just gotta throw away. You just gotta be done with them. That's yes, that is good. That is good. The rodent ones are always fun. You always get some interesting stuff.
Yeah, I forgot about. You just reminded me of one. I set up a trapping station inside because this lady had a bunch of like tiny dogs running around, but they were also like rats. And this was before you were here, but I forgot to let the office know that we have to come back and check them. You know, so for other people listening, you know, the software we use, we have a predetermined stop called a rodent return. After we do some rodent exclusion or rodent care, we like to go back for some follow-up. So that's why you sometimes hear that thrown around. But I forgot to let the office know, like, hey, we got to come back and check these things. And this lady was really sweet, and I felt bad because she called me, like she had my number.
Yeah.
She was like, hey, I was just wondering like when you're gonna come back and this, and I didn't text her first, but I gave her my information and I like typed it in the system, and it was like 2.5 weeks ago. So we had to go out there. What it was is this freaking rat. Like, I mean, it wasn't anything crazy. Like, head to like tip of nose to tail was this big, but like when I walked up to the bait station, it was just like the little U door that's around the you know, to go into it was just like flooded with maggots.
Oh,
Just flooded. And right when I walked in, it just stunk, and I just took a trash bag and just got the whole thing. I just chucked it in the back, and but yeah, that was gross.
Oh man. Yeah, Bailey, you are gonna have you have some good experiences as it starts to warm up. The maggots are a great one.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like rats and maggots are just perfectly intertwined. Because I've had it where I thought the rat was still alive.
Oh, because there's so many maggots moving in it.
Yeah. I had a double take because I just had a flashlight, and so you're just getting a glimpse of it, and you just see the body moving still, and you're like, oh, is this thing alive? And then you realize as you pick it up, it's just like all the maggots fall out below. You're like, ugh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully you're not listening to this during lunch.
I got you at the good time.
Oh man, no, that's good. That's awesome, Bailey. Anything that you would want to ask us?
Um,
Don't be shy.
Could be about podcasting. Could be about the business. Anything.
what's something you look for a new hire or a new candidate?
I'll go first. I got you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, normally,
okay, you're
normally
ready
you
for
go
this.
first,
Okay.
yeah. Well, it depends on the position we're hiring for. I mean, I look at a few specific things, like obviously, like some of the unteachables I don't want to have to try and teach. So like common sense, just a little bit of wit, a little bit of, you know, like a light sense of humor enough to where someone could be thrown out at like a multiple range of customers and be able to like deal with that. You know what I mean? I think more specifically resilience, somebody who's resourcefulness and resilience. You know, somebody who may not know, but they're okay with that, and they're okay with communicating that, but understand that they have to figure out how to find the right answer. Looking for somebody who's not afraid to fail, you know, who's not afraid to try different things, because you don't do that, there's no room for growth. I mean, me and you, Bailey, we always talk about like how much opportunity there really is here at a smaller company, and so I look for people who don't really associate themselves with the quote unquote norm. I like people who kind of think outside the box, and somebody we can actually depend on in that way. Like, hey, this is going to suck, but this is why we need your help doing it, and here's the result after. And it's the people who bitch and complain, where it's like, okay, well, you kind of set yourself up as a just a grunt worker forever, and that's fine because we need them. But the people who are going to excel, I look for those kind of key factors.
Yeah. I'm along the same lines. It really comes down to, what you're hiring for and what you're looking for. I'm always looking for the best in everybody. And I have to constantly remind myself that they make that decision, not me. So even though I want you to do better, I want you to do your best, or I want you to move up and I want you to grow, that's not my decision at the end of the day. It's really up to you. But those key factors in that is really what Aaron said, is that person willing to be part of the team and do something that they may not like today, but understand that the end goal in mind isn't that forever, right? So, and it's different in each position. If it's specifically technician, it's that, right? And if I'm looking for someone who's willing to grow, it's the leadership skills. Some people have it, some people don't. And some people have it naturally, and some people have to work for it. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to get it, but it's working towards those things, and those leadership skills and the training skills and the communication skills. A lot of that, like I said, are skills. It's all developed in time. But it is that, right? Are you willing to fail and grow? Are you willing to get yelled at a couple times or have some difficult conversations with me and Aaron? And if that's a yes and you can handle that, those are all positives and pluses, right? Because we only grow from those circumstances. We sit down and we get hash something out and go back and forth and get a little frustrated. That's awesome, because now our relationship should be stronger after that. It shouldn't destroy us. Now, there are some people that crumble under those pressures, and those are the ones that usually I'm trying to put a little bit more pressure in interviews to see how they're going to react. And the ones that kind of take that on and are confident about it and are okay with that is, hey, let's move this on to the next step and see where it goes. So that's what I'm looking for.
I like it.
Yeah. Anything else before we let you go?
Tell me a crazy story that you guys have had.
Oh, apart from what we just said, let's see. Yeah. What do you want to hear? Customer or pest?
One of each.
One of each. Okay. A good customer one. This is kind of a funny one, and you got to be careful out there, my fellow technicians. I went to a lady's house, elderly lady. She was not young. Her husband passed, so she was living by herself. Beautiful home. And I've serviced it before. I was just routine, normal service. Knocked on the door, everything, no answer. Rang the doorbell, no answer. But that's not like uncommon, right? I mean, we run into it all the time. So I started spraying. Started taking care of the home. I walked into the backyard. They have a pool and a jacuzzi, and she's in the jacuzzi, and she's naked in the jacuzzi. So I didn't see anything. Luckily, I'm very Grateful I didn't see anything.
The bubble saved you.
You know, it was like I saw her sitting there and I just was like, oh, I better, I just like, I'm turning around, like I'm getting out of there. And she noticed too. And she came and she's like, why didn't you knock on the door or ring the doorbell? She didn't say anything like what she was naked. I knew she was. I'm like, well, I did knock on the door and I rang your doorbell multiple times and you didn't come to the door. So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure she won't be taking any early morning dips after that, after that experience. And it was early. It wasn't like, I was there at 7:30, 8 o'clock. It was an early morning. She was one of the first stops. Like apparently that's what people do very bright and early. So that's one of my customer stories. That's kind of a fun one. A bug one, man, I can go, there's some, I got cockroach, I got bed bug, I got rats, I have ants, I have quite a few, but on the subject of rats, because you were talking about it with the maggots and everything like that, a crazy one, and I actually have a picture of this. I'll find it and we'll post it. We went to this house and we set up traps. We were already doing everything. We were going back for a rodent return and the trap went off. So the trap went off. It was underneath like some shelving. So it was on the ground, and it was down below. And, it went off and there was blood, but we couldn't find anything. We're like, what happened? This is weird. And so we were looking around, and as we were looking around, we found the rat. And as we pulled the rat out, it had it was a decent size, like a piece of, I don't know if it was metal or wood, through its head. No joke. I have the picture. I have proof. It is real. It shot through this rat's head. I don't know if it was a piece of wood from the snap trap, and as it snapped, it just hit and just shot it. I have no idea.
Oh, whoa.
But clean through this thing's head. It was like little dwarfs running around shooting stuff. Like, it was insane. But yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, one of the weirdest catches I've ever had. I still, to this day, I don't know how. We were even looking to see if there was a piece of wood taken off of something, the shelf, anything. But yeah, went straight through this thing's head. Killed it.
Yeah.
Got a kill without a trap even hitting it.
It's pretty impressive.
Very, very impressive, I thought.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. All right, Aaron, you get to go. Go customer and then a crazy.
Customer and then crazy. Let me go crazy and then customer.
Okay.
Switch it up on you.
Okay. You know what? Oh no, I can't look it up. Okay, keep going though.
You're good.
I was gonna look it up and see if I can throw it up on the screen, but I can't.
No, it's all good. And I've talked about this on a couple other ones, but there are some crazy rodent ones, but the one that sticks out to me the most is just the bloodbath bed bug situation at that multifamily housing unit in town. And for those of you who have not heard the story, it's sort of not a rehab program, but it's kind of like a halfway home where people who are struggling or, the city or the county provides that as a temporary living situation. And a lot of those people have been there for years and years and years with no regular pest control service. So we got called out to do a bed bug inspection, and it's just like someone just threw buckets of pepper over the room. It's just, that's how much bed bugs and exoskeletons and carcasses, and this guy's leg is just straight, just riddled with bites and everything. But point being, just walking around while we were doing the treatment, lifting up the bed, as we stepped, there was just bloody footprints, and it was so bad. That was one where I'd say now bed bugs don't bother me anymore because I went through that.
Yeah.
All bed bug situations I go to now, it's even if it's quote unquote bad, it's never I was well, it's not that bad. So yeah, I can't deal with that.
Yeah. And it's so funny you mentioned that, because I have people who are it's so bad. I'm so sorry. It's so bad. And I'm yeah, you don't know what bad is.
Oh, really?
This is not bad. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I think for customer, I do a lot of the quality control. So I deal with a lot of the hot-headed ones, but I think some of the more interesting ones are the inspections I've been doing.
Oh, okay.
So I've had 2 nudists. Well, not nudists, but 2 people were naked when I went in there. One of them actually, one of the other technicians went in there because we split up. It was like 2 double doors.
Yeah.
So we were like knocking both sides, and he went in there, and all I heard was like a shriek. And then he comes out. He's like, I'm so sorry. He's walking out like this with his hands over his eyes. Yeah. And then like the manager ended up having to go in there and say like, yeah, we're here for the inspection. Like we put the notice on your door.
Where was this?
Yesterday.
No way. It
Yeah.
was yesterday.
Yeah, you ask him about it.
Oh my
Anyways,
gosh.
he walked out, and like I walked out. I was like, "What happened?" She was like, "Yeah, she was naked." I was like, "Oh, well, that's unfortunate." You know,
Yeah.
I guess she like couldn't handle it, but she asked the apartment manager, like, "Can we reschedule? This is just too much for me." Like she was like traumatized by it. But I had one guy.
Were you not thinking? You had the notice. They knocked. They rang. Like what? Like elderly?
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah, I think like kind of like our age or something like that. Yeah.
Really?
But you see everything on inspections.
Yeah.
Like, there was one where there was like 6 litter boxes, and the litter boxes had like the printout names of like which cat goes in which one. And there's some of them where this, not yesterday, but a couple weeks ago, I think I was telling you this, but there was a guy who just, maybe I woke him up or caught him at a bad time. So like when we do inspections, we have keys with management, but we're knocking. We go in there. I'm like, pest control, like, hey, I'm here to do an inspection. Anybody home? And like nothing. And I'm walking down the hallway, and I see like a TV from a light, or like a light from a TV. I'm like, oh, I must have left it on. And I end up like looking again, and it's this like old guy sitting in bed, and he like looks over at me. He's like, what the? And he like stands up. He's like, man, get the out of my house. He's like, who the? He's going crazy. And like the manager's standing like right behind me. She's like, I can't remember his name. Let's just say Jerry. She's like, Jerry, it's okay. It's okay. He's like, no. He's like, who the? You get out of my house. And he's like, and I'm just like sitting there with a flashlight. And I was trying to keep it light. Yeah. I was like, hey man, I'm just here looking for bugs. He's like, I don't get. And he started going crazy. And then,
oh my gosh.
So I guess all the inspections collectively kind of keep it fresh for me, because like you said at the beginning of the episode, you have no idea what you're walking into when you go in some of these places.
Yeah, that is. So Bailey, be careful out there.
Great.
Keep your head down when you're spraying around a house. Windows are open and people are inside.
I've seen some things I don't want to see.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry that you're thinking about them now.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me relive those.
Yeah, right. You're gonna go turn on the shower and cry.
Thank you for the flashbacks.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, Bailey, thank you so much for taking time on the weekend and everything. And we actually did not get interrupted by your kids, so that was pretty good.
He did peek his head around the corner, and I had to tell him shush and go back to watching TV real quick.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your experience so far as a technician. It's always good to have guys come on and do that, and especially, share these experiences and remind some of these older guys that have been doing it for so long what it's like to get back through it.
No, appreciate you guys bringing me on and giving me a chance to share it.
For sure. Man. We'll do a part 2 at the 1 year mark.
There you go.
Oh, goodness. Bring it on.
Oh, yeah, but we'll have you in studio then. It'll be better.
There we go. I actually have a camera.
Yeah. All right, Bailey. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Have a good weekend.
You too. All right, there we go. Mr. Bailey, thank you again for coming on.
Yeah.
It's always fun, and that was a good twist. I've been actually wanting to do that for a while, bring someone on who is with us, who's going through it, who's being a tech here, and getting kind of that situation. We'll have to get him in a better timing, with his kid just getting up off of a nap and everything like that. So kind of a interesting timing, but next time it'll be a lot better.
Yeah.
And we'll get some better information, but it's always good to hear, where they came from, what's kind of going on right now, the experiences that they're going through. And so Bailey, thanks again, for coming on and doing that.
Definitely. And, for you listeners out there, Bailey's coming up in 6 months next month.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what the NPMM push is all about. We've been trying to get as many pest guests as we can just because everybody has such a different experience all in the same industry. And there's a lot of similarities and a lot of differences. And I think it's awesome that we get to come like on a platform like this and be able to share it. So if you yourself want to be on the show or somebody that'd be great, please let us know. You can actually access that directly through our website. Obviously, we have our social media handles where you can reach out to us as well. So there's the new YouTube channel, Facebook page, Instagram. We have episodes every Monday and Thursday. So it's cool because the social media platforms will let you know kind of what's upcoming, what we're looking for. So make sure not to miss on that. But thank you again for listening to the DNA Pest Control Podcast.